Hi, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to Stardew Therapy, where we talk about everyday issues and hopefully you find some parts of it relatable and know that you're not facing these issues alone. And no matter where you are and who you are, we go through the same emotions. We are human after all, and we all can come together and just share our experiences with one another. And that is the most important part about Stardew Therapy. And today is a very special episode where this is the first viewer submitted a problem, and then we'll be talking about that. And hopefully through this sharing, you all can come together, and also if you have gone through this problem before, you can share your experience as well, and we all can pull together our insights and help the person who has just shared his or her problem. So let me just read the problem. A problem I struggled quite a bit with and still kind of do have trouble grasping with is what exactly does it mean to be a man. I grew up with only my mother, as my father chose to leave for another woman when I was young. When my mother did her best to raise me and my siblings, I feel bad to say it was not good enough, and that's not entirely her fault, just that my father left her. It's a bit silly, but I gravitate to video games when looking at the type of man I want to be. Characters like Joel from The Last of Us or Arthur Morgan when you are doing a good route not evil from Red Dead Redemption 2. There are characters with flaws, yeah, but I sort of idolize them. I'm curious as to what you think a man should and should not be. So thank you for sharing. First and foremost, I'd like to highlight that it's not silly at all to gravitate to video games to look at the type of man you want to be. I do that as well. I rely on video games, celebrities, TV shows, anime, cartoons, and all these things to give me values, to teach me how to be a better human being. And for those females who are listening to this, I feel that the core issue at heart here applies to all, in the sense where there's a missing role model, be it your mother or be it your father, and we all kind of rely on external sources to provide some form of guidance. And for those of us who are in difficult family situations, that's always the case, right? If we do not have a direct parent figure to guide us. So this is the position that I am in. Like, my parents are still together, but we are very poor. So they work very long hours, and then oftentimes they work in a blue collar kind of job, menial labor, physical labor. They spend most of their days working, and then they come back home. They don't really have time to spend time with me, and they are not very highly educated. They are, I think, elementary school education, that's all. So they can't really do much, and there really isn't much for them to impart any kind of values. As much as they have values, they do not have the kind of ability to teach, to parent, to raise a child. I feel that good parenting requires some form of level of understanding of how a child thinks, how a child develops. There's some sort of education involved, knowledge. And my parents aren't very good at that. And this leaves me with no one. The way they parent is just very laissez-faire, no parenting at all. And I guess the good thing is that I can do whatever I want. But the bad thing is that it's just there's nobody taking care of me, and I start to see the repercussions of it in social situations. It's like I find that I'm not so tactful. Like, a lot of social behaviors that are coached by or taught by parents, it's not natural for me. I find myself in situations where, wait, how come I can't get it? Oh, now I know why. Okay, for a moment I was just so confused, like, what is going on? Let me just put these things back first. Anyway, it's like, for example, when I speak to females in school, when I speak to friends, I can be not so tactful, I can be too straightforward. And this can hurt people. But apparently my friends, they don't really do that. They know when not to be truthful, they know when not to be too straightforward about things. and they know when to compliment people. But unfortunately, I don't know when, and this has created quite a fair bit of problem. And I would assume that this is taught by their parents, right? Like they could be very straightforward at the beginning, then all of a sudden, their parents catch them and say, "Hey, you shouldn't be saying that to people. That is very rude." That's how it works, right? You can kind of imagine it that way. So no, I didn't have that kind of coaching, which is somewhat unfortunate, and this has caused quite a fair bit of problems in my social life. But I don't really blame my parents for that. Like, their capabilities are limited. They do not know how to teach. Their parents also didn't know how to teach them. All they can do is to give me a bare minimum kind of, like, I don't know, provide shelter, provide food, and that's all they can do. That's the best that they can do. I don't really fault them for that. So what this means is that I have to rely on my external sources. So my external sources, what this means is that I have to rely on television series, animes, characters in anime, to provide some form of value and guidance for me in life, to know how to be a better person, to how to be more confident, to learn about hard work, to learn about having faith and hope. Anime is one of an example, right? The common anime trope is always the protagonist started from ground zero, being the worst kind of hero. He isn't even a hero at all. Then he continue working hard, overcoming adversities, and eventually he reached there. So that taught me, working hard, overcoming adversity, having faith in yourself despite the circumstances. So that's a good example of how it is like, relying on this kind of external sources. And so another one is also dealing with, like, how personhood. What is the meaning of my life? And I felt that at one particular point, like during university, Rick and Morty really helped a lot. Rick and Morty touched on the meaning of life, because Rick always talks about there's no meaning in life, it sucks, life sucks, and whatever. And underlying all of these things, you realize is that, there really truly is, if you are atheist, right, there really isn't any meaning in life. There really isn't any purpose. You are born in this world. You are just like, it's meaningless. So you need to find a meaning for yourself to continue living. Otherwise, you will become Rick, and you will start going crazy and, just have no sense of purpose. And it is through the meaning and purpose that gives you happiness. That's why people have family. That's why people find religion. That's why people have a child. That's why people study, work. All of these provide purpose and meaning. And back to the question that you have just raised in the problem that you just shared. Talk about you're curious as to what I think a man should and should not be. The most important part here is that I feel that you should rephrase the question. When you talk about what a man should and should not be, there's a lot of expectations and historical social expectations that comes with it. Like the connotations of what a man should be, and also should and should nots are expectations as well. And when you talk about this kind of expectations is just going to cause a lot more emotional, psychological harm than good. Instead, what you should be asking yourself is, what should I be? So example, your name is John. What should John be as a person, regardless of what a man should or should not be? You should ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be based on your experiences? Consuming different media, different stories, talking to different people through your life experiences. You should ask yourself, what kind of values do I want to embody? How do I want to behave as a human being? That's the most important part. And through that, you can kind of shape your personality, shape your identity. And at the end of the day, this is not, how do I say, this is not permanent. You as a person change throughout life. your life circumstances change, you grow, you have new information, you come into contact with new people, then your values change as well. But at least you have a core founding guiding principle. And as you change, you kind of tweak along the way to tweak it such that it is best suited for whatever scenario you are in, right? In life. So that's the most important part. What should you be? You should ask yourself that. And that's the best way to go. That's the best way to deal with this question. And also constantly look out for guidance through different sources. You shouldn't disregard any kind of sources. Personally, for me, I'm very open-minded. I rely on all these things, right? Comedy, celebrities. As much as people think that celebrities are a bit disgusting or whatever, like too famous to be, it's like it's too mainstream already. But whatever that helps me, I will go with it. Like religion, I think at the beginning, when I was slightly younger, in university or in high school, I always have this distaste. I don't really like religion that much, especially Christianity, because all of this proselytizing is a bit too much for me. Like, why are you disturbing people? But as I grow older, I become more open, and I started exploring religion. But I still don't believe in God. But I feel that there's no harm in that. Whatever that is useful, I can always take it, even though it conflicts with my ideology. But there are some parts of it that is relatable, that is useful, that I can adopt in life. Because why disregard all these useful sources, right? When you can get the best part of it and use it in life and teach yourself and make yourself become a better person. So that's the main idea here. And after going to church for a moment, for about a year, I kind of learned that these people, the reason why they proselytize is because from their perspective, they are trying to help you. It's out of good intentions. And now when people kind of approach me to proselytize me, I no longer get so judgmental about it. I'm okay with it. I understand where they are coming from, and I just let it be. But I haven't converted yet. But what I really learned from the several weeks of going to church, like almost a year, is that one of the most crucial thing I learned is about letting your gut feeling guide you in that sense. Because one of the sermons, the pastor was talking about how sometimes the Holy Spirit or whatever speaks through you. Example, you see a beggar or somebody that is in need of help, and the spirit kind of tells you that you should go and help the person out. And as an atheist, the way I look at it is your gut feeling. Is you're healthy, you're self-conscious. And when your gut tells you that this person needs help, you should probably act on it because they need it. And that's a part of being a kind person and a good person, right? So whenever I feel like I should help out, when perhaps it's raining and I have an umbrella, the person standing beside me doesn't have an umbrella, I probably would offer them that. And this kind of makes it better, makes me feel better in life. Why is this guy still here? What is he doing? Suspicious. Anyway, I'm gonna go around foraging things. Yup. So hopefully this clarifies the question that you have. The problems that you are facing right now. Please do not feel silly or that you are relying on this kind of sources to learn how to be a human or like learn about values in life. Because not all of us are born in perfect family, right, where you have a parent, like a father and mother to guide you in life. That's not always the case. That's why the internet is so good, because now you have access to tons. Sorry, I still have COVID, so you can hear that I'm a bit nasally, but I feel that I should respond to this. Since the person has written down and sent us the problem, right? the best way to do it is to just reply as soon as possible, because I don't know, man, maybe there's some urgency to it. I don't want to sit there for too long and take my time. So I'm probably gonna put this as a priority and release it as soon as possible. Then the ones that I did in the backlog, I'll push it back. So that's that. But anyway, there's no shame in that. Just use whatever source that is useful to you. There are so many aspects of life. There's the spiritual aspect. There's reality, physics. I don't know. There's so many different things in life that you can explore to teach yourself something. And like, don't let your judgment stop you from learning things. Be open-minded, and always, like, you know, you can still be objective. You can still not let it influence you. You can always just decide when the information is presented to you. You can always just ask yourself, is this useful for me? Do I want to like embody this? Do I want to adopt this in my life? I mean, we are all educated people. We are all able to think for ourselves, and you know, you don't have to fear that, like, other people, I don't know, there are some conservative people I see on Reddit all the time, right? They talk about how these people are so scared that they get brainwashed or whatever. I mean, I suppose all of you who are listening to this are educated people, and you do not have to be afraid of brainwash or whatever. Just be open-minded and look at things objectively and adopt whatever that is useful for you. That's my approach. That's my mindset to everything in life, is to learn as much as possible, because I mean, I'm in this kind of position, right? I can't do much. I don't have parents to guide me. So all I have to do... Oh my god, I need to go back. Oh my god, I need to go back. Shit. Shit. I need to go back home. Oh my god. I think I gotta lose money here. Okay, I got too engrossed talking about all these things. But anyway, yeah. Just keep an open mind. I hope this answers your question. Actually, I did quite a few takes of this because I wanted to get this perfect. I kind of have this perfectionist kind of mindset, which is not too good. I want to give a very good answer. I want to give the best possible answer, and I'm probably just gonna stick with this. Yeah, I hope you find this useful, and for those who have been through this before, please share your experience and perhaps share how you overcome this issue where there's no parenting involved, and how do you become a better person, right? How do you I don't know, pick up values, traits, behaviors, and all these things. So that's that. I hope all of you have a great day, and if you have any issues you want to share, please go to the description below. There's a Google form where you can submit your problems. We will talk about it. So that's that. And I shall see you guys next time. Bye.